Hi everyone, welcome back to She's Crafty Paperworks. If you're new here, my name is Jen, and today we are breaking out our Tim Holtz Idea-ology products, and we're going to be making some tags. And my goal is to make 5 front and back tags, and this is something that I do every year. This isn't the kind that you attach to gifts. This is just, you could call it decor if you want, but I break this out every year and I try to add to my collection. And it's just something that I do after the card making season has ended and I can step away from card making for a couple weeks. And one thing that I do like to do is these tags because there's no pressure. It's kind of a reset for me. Because when I'm making cards for other people, I tend to put a lot more pressure on myself. I strive for perfection. Not a perfect card maker, but I strive for perfection in the cards that I'm giving other people. But when I'm making something for myself, I can eliminate some of that pressure and just have fun and experiment and play around with different collages and just paper piecing. I bring in some mixed media, just have fun with it. So come join me and break out your own Idea-ology products. It does not have to be holiday related, but let's have some fun and make some tags. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to decide on what my bases are going to be. So what the actual tag is. And with that, I am going to use the same that I've been using for the entire collection. And so I have one type that this is from the Distress line, and it has the tag plus a little envelope pocket. I don't have any more of those, so I'm going to skip that altogether. I do have one more of these, and this is the Distress Mixed Media Heavy Stock tag in number 8. So number 8 is 6¼ inches by I think 3¼ inches. And then I have those that I've made myself, and that's just using a 6-inch rectangle and about 3¼ inches wide. So since I'm out of the number 8, I'm going to use the one that I do have, and I'm going to, for the remaining 4, I've already gone ahead and pre-cut the bases that I'm going to use. And so I've chosen for that to use the metallic cardstock from the Idea-ology line. And I like this because it's heavyweight. And so what I have done is gone ahead and chosen some backgrounds that I'm also going to use. So I've already attached them. And for the 2 that I left blank, I am going to use the large collage strips to create the background. I'll do that later though. The next thing I like to do is to go through my stash and see what things I might want to use and other things that I might want to push aside and save for another time. Now I'm just using the large collage strips to solidify my backgrounds for the remaining 2 tags. And once I decide on that, I'll glue those down, and then I will start building all of the cards or all of the tags at the same time. I decided that I wanted to do a little bit of ink blending around the edges of a couple of the tags. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now before I start gluing on the other pieces. Now I only work on one side of a tag at a time, but I'm doing all 5 tags. And the reason for that is that I find working on just one tag at a time and going through all of my products is more time consuming than if I were to just throw down anything on top of the tag that I might want to include. And so I can edit after that what products that I am ultimately going to glue down. Before I start any gluing on this first tag, there's two things that I want to do. This baseboard is a little too thick for what I can fit in my current box. So I'm going to shave off about half of its bulk by just taking my picky tool and going through there and getting in between, because it's a bunch of layers of paper. So just taking some of those layers off can reduce that thickness quite a bit. And then I want to do a little bit of mixed media. And when you're using the metallic cardstock, it is something that you can sand and it will reveal a silver finish underneath. So I'm just going to do that and then add my mixed media. I decided on using Dylusion's black ink spray and just splattering that versus going through and trying to spray it. I wanted something a little bit more distinct. The same thing with Dylusion shimmer spray. I am going to use that in cut grass, and that I also spattered or splattered onto the cardstock. So I'm going to set that aside and work on the next tag while that dries. For this one, I've already glued down the large pocket card that is serving as the background. And now I'm just thinking about what other ephemera I want to add to it. I'm not trying to overthink it because the collage is already formed on the background. So I'm just trying to add a couple more pieces to it just to personalize it a little bit more, and then prepare that background for the lantern. Now the lantern is another baseboard, and again I want to thin that down just a little bit so that it's not too thick for the space that I have in my tag collection. For tag number 3, I'm creating a thin shaker card element, and I'm going to do that with using one of the frames. And the frames are already pre-cut, and then all I need to do with that is attach a clear film, and I'm just using packaging material to do that. And for the height of with the foam, I'm only using 1 millimeter, and the way it's still going to be a shaker is because I'm going to use rock candy, and distressed rock candy is very fine. And even though I don't have a huge amount of thickness underneath, it's still going to be enough for that glitter to move freely. Oh, and before I put this window on, I did use my anti-static powder in that on that plastic so that the glitter could move around. Going back to that first tag, I'm just gluing everything on now that all of the sprays have dried. And this one is a very simple, easy card to do or tag to do. I keep wanting to say card. Card making is always on the brain. Okay, for this fourth tag, I'm taking the remnants from the large collage strips that I used on the other side of the tags, and I'm taking that and mixing that with some of the ephemera that I pulled. And I'm going to prop up the bell with some of that 1 millimeter foam tape. Now I don't have the footage for that fifth tag for some reason, as well as some of the mixed media that I sprayed onto this, and that's on this tag right here. If once I tilt it, you'll see that I sprayed that with a bronze, and then I took a tissue and I wiped it off of the lantern because it will take a really long time to dry on the baseboards, if at all. This is the shaker card. I didn't do anything else to it. For this one though, I added two different types of distress sprays, and one is in the flaming candle or flickering candle, and the other one is antique bronze. And then for this fifth tag, this was another one that I went, pretty minimalistic with the collaging. Just added a few elements and then had the baseboard for that Christmas greetings, just like the other ones, I did reduce down in size. So now that we're on the other side, we're going to start this process all over again. And with that, I'm going to start with mixed media, anything that will take a long time to dry. And so for this one, I am pulling one of my Tim Holtz stencils, and then I'm taping that down with, it's Scotch delicate surfaces tape. I'm also doing a little bit of masking on the stencil because I only want some of the words instead of snowflake. I'm just going with snow. I'm using Distress Grit Paste in Snowfall. And this is only the second time that I've used it. I used it one time at Halloween for another stencil with a skull on a black background. I'll come back to that though once that is dry. Now I'm just taking my ephemera and layers and going through the cards and or the tags and going through and picking out some of the possibilities. Just like last time, I can edit this down when I go to start making and gluing everything down. For the tags on this side, I'm going to color my paper dowels with my Distress crayons. Now I don't have a big variety, but I do have enough that will work for this occasion, especially because a lot of my colors tend to be holiday colors. So one thing that I like to do is for the smaller surfaces or smaller parts, I like to put the crayons on the glass surface and then just use my finger to bring it over to the paper dowel versus going right on top of the paper dowel. Now, if it's a large amount or large surface, then I'll bring that crayon right onto the paper dowel, for example. Now for the really small surfaces like the cheeks or the rose on this hat, I'm going to use a Q-tip. Now, Tim Holtz always stresses to use a Q-tip because it has a tighter wind on it, and when you go to rub it in like a circular fashion onto like the cheeks, for example, to get that color on, it doesn't unwind. So it tends to work, Q-tips tend to work better. So I've always kind of followed that rule. Okay, once I get this piece glued on, I'll cut off that extra side piece that's hanging over, and then I'll bring in a ribbon. Okay, now that we have one tag completely finished, I'm going to start on this next one. And as I wrap this one up, I decided not to add any color to the paper dowels because I wanted that contrast. So I'm just kind of going through, deciding on what elements I want to include. My collaging for this one is rather minimal. I do want to add some solids before I adhere those paper dowels. So I want to bring in, I'm still running with that poinsettia feel, but I want them to create a little bit of a dark background so that my paper dowels have that contrast to show up. And the only color I added here was just for those cheeks. Okay, for this one, I'm trying to bring in my own spin to add to the collage and building on top of it. And I do like some of my elements to stick off the side of the tag sometimes. Not everybody likes that. Sometimes they like them kind of uniformly inside, or they cut them off, any excess off. I like a variety. Sometimes I cut off the extra, and other times I let just a little bit hang over, particularly if it's near the top, so it doesn't interfere with how it sits inside the box. Okay, for his uniform, I started with the iced spruce, but I found it to be a little too light. So then I switched over to the rustic wilderness, and that gave me a little bit more depth that I was looking for. The drum is colored in wild honey. All right, now we're working on the last tag, and when it came to work on this one, I realized that my stenciling and that snowfall had dried to more of a translucent, and it's actually a really nice uh, kind of slushy, wet snow appearance. In texture, it's hard and kind of bumpy, but it's grit paste. But at the same time, it looks like wet snow. I had forgot about that because again, this is the only second time that I used this, and I was thinking it was going to be much whiter. And my kind of technique for dealing with that and adding some more color was to bring in my distress crayon. And what I did was I used the color Wonderland, which is one of the pearlescent crayons, and I just brought that in and colored the letters with the crayon. I tried a couple different ways with a Q-tip, with my finger, or the crayon directly onto the grit paste, and all of them provided some level of coverage, but I just went kind of back and forth and layered the colors till I got enough of a feel that I was comfortable with. And so once I did that, I went ahead and did the rest of the collaging, and I ended up covering up one of the words just to give me a little bit more room to complete the collage. All right, here are the completed tags for this side. I'm very happy with how everything came together, and I definitely appreciate you coming along for the ride. If you made it this far, I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope your new year is off to a good start, and I will see you next weekend with another video.